If you knew you were gonna die next month, would you still be doing what you're doing now? Hanging out with the people you're hanging out with? Watching what you're watching? Spending time doing what you're doing? Working where you're working? Running a business? Well, this is a great question that I actually just got asked 2 days ago. And I thought I should jump in here and talk about my experience because it really helped me get clear on a couple of things. And so I want to ask you that before I start. Are you doing what you want to be doing right now? If you knew next month you were going to die, would you be doing what you want to do? The answer to me, I got so clear when I got asked that question. It dropped into my soul. So to give you context, I've been at this digital game for about 3 years now, I guess you can say, trying to crack into not only making a freedom life, but making a freedom life doing something I'm passionate about. And that's really important to me. I just took this test called the Kolbe test. I would highly recommend it. It helps you understand your personality type, but it doesn't do your personality type. It actually does something which is quite unique. It doesn't do your personality, and it doesn't do I forget the other side of it. Oh, how you think. It does your intuition. And it's a really good test to take. Actually costs $55 USD, but it really gives you an insider on yourself and how your instincts work. That's one. It helps you with your instincts. So I got really clear on taking this test. I was like, kind of like, how sometimes you maybe feel like, why can't I do this or why can't I do that? But it just is in your nature. This is something, your instincts will stay the same no matter what age you get. We have certain attributes about ourselves that will always stay the same. It's just how we're wired. It's just how we work. Now, we want to play to our strengths, right? And ideally be surrounded by people that are have weaknesses. That are strong in our weaknesses. So for example, for myself, I'm so good at seeing the future. I'm so good at seeing the bigger picture. I've dubbed this thing that I have as the 2 steps ahead syndrome, where I can anticipate. Right now I'm designing a company, and I've been talking to all these people, but it's a company design that is making about a couple $100,000 a year, So obviously I'm not there yet, but I'm already thinking about that. I'm already anticipating that. I'm already preparing for that, which is really strong when you're wanting to innovate. And so that's a trait that I have within me, an instinct. I have an innovative instinct within me. But the shadow of that is but you got to master the step you're on before you go to the next step. So being surrounded by detail-orientated people is really powerful for me. I always say that I'm a aspiring OCD person, and it's because I have to really work on the details. But big picture, I love big picture. So these are just kind of some of the things. So how does this relate to would you be doing what you do if you were to die next month? Well, because now you can start understanding yourself. You can get really clear on your actions, your behaviors, how you're treating people, what you're doing for work. And for myself, one of my instincts is I got to be passionate. If I'm not passionate about what I'm doing, I can't do it. Because the thing is my risk tolerance for life is very, very high. I've got for a lot of people, if you were to take this test, some people need stability. And what's so great about this Kolbe test is it doesn't matter what your score is. There's no good or bad score. It's just who you are as your instincts. But for myself, part of what I'm understanding is I gotta be passionate about what I'm doing, because my risk tolerance is so high that I'm not afraid. I don't have fear to do things new or just to totally flip it. If I was to have to fly to Czech Republic tomorrow, it wouldn't unearth me. I have that ability to just jump in the deep end. And that just is how I work. Someone else may really want structure, and there's shadows to both sides of those. But for me, so when I've worked jobs and done things, that's why I've moved and traveled the world 10 times to finally find Bali. But is because I just knew that there's more. I just know that you don't have to live life in a way that you don't want to be living it. Now, that can be challenging at times because you know that there's more, but you don't know where. You don't know what it looks like, but you know there's something more. Have you ever worked a job you hated, but you're like, I don't want to leave it because I'm getting paid, but I really want to leave it because it really does not fill my soul. Maybe you've never even thought about that, but these are things that have happened to me along the way. Generally speaking, that's why I never took a job that had responsibilities, because I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't even want to be in this town. I don't even want to be in this country, let alone work this job. Oh my God. So for me, that question got asked 2 days ago, or I guess on last Friday, and today's Sunday. And I got asked that question, and I've been working on the Digital Freedom Life, and I've been working on this business solely pretty much based, like, I'm passionate because I'm helping people, but at the same time, it's based around making money. And for me, money's important. It's becoming way more important than it ever has in my entire life. I kind of went the other route. I went spiritual first, and then now coming back over to the monetary system and understanding the monetary system, which is really nice because as I go into these financial places around these financial people, I see a lot of them go the other way. And I actually think going money first, then spiritual is more challenging, because you're all these unconscious patterns that you've developed around making money. This is just through my observation, but when you've developed these unconscious patterns making money and you made all these choices, like, you've been unaware. Whereas, like, what I'm experiencing is, like, I learn a lot of this stuff about the monetary system making money, but I'm aware of, like, how that affects me, how it affects people, and I'm considering what's the benefit and how can it help people. So this is like a big thing when I'm making money. I really want to be passionate about it, and I really want to make sure that it's impacting people in a positive way. It's just something that for me is important to focus on. And so I got asked that question. I got asked, if you were to die next month, would you be doing what you're doing right now? And instantly, it just hit my heart, it hit my soul. And I was like, no way would I be doing what I'm doing. My head's like knee deep in Facebook world, in talking to people through this platform, which I've not had a platform like this. And think about this, I've not had social media. Like, I've had YouTube, but I've not had like social media till like 30 years old. So I would not be doing what I'm doing right now. And no, I would not be researching Facebook ads. I could hire someone to do this. I would absolutely not be doing what I'm doing right now. And what I would be doing is I'd be pursuing talking to you. I'd be pursuing talking in front of a live crowd. And that's really what I'm doing now. So I got really clear. It's kind of crazy, but I flipped the table. I just full on it instantly. The charge in my body, I'm such a passionate guy, right? So I have like a lot of energy. So I just flipped the table on exactly what I was doing. And I just like ended up, said, fuck it. I'm not doing this. I bought this lady that I met at my first public talk that I did. She came up to me afterwards, and she is a public speaker and helps people become public speakers for like TEDx and that type of thing. And she has a container that it's an 8-week program up in Ubud, so it's about a 40-minute drive from where I am. And I go up there every week for like a couple hours and work on speaking. And then at the end, which is really cool, is there's a 2-day event where there's about 150 people. You get video, you get content on yourself, so you get pictures and you get video content, which is really cool. And then you speak in front of a live crowd and tell your story, and you get to craft your story. So in that same day where I was like, well, what would I really do? I was like, well, that's what I would do if I was to die next month. I'd be working on this, telling the message in the years. I've been on this journey for about like 7 years now. I've definitely learned a lot. And so upon reflection, like when I was 25, I wanted to become a public speaker, but I was pursuing it through the ego and wanting to be heard. Now, where I feel I am now is that I'm coming from a stiller place, and I'm wanting to just share to hopefully positively impact one person, while I'm up there, to they can hear my story and maybe learn something. And if not, it's okay too, but that's just my intention, is to positively impact one person. And so going through this container is what I would do if I was to die next month. This is what I would be doing. And what I would be doing is I'd be double down and focusing on YouTube, because I've posted about now 340 videos or something on this channel. I'm just playing with the idea of what is it I want to talk about, who do I want to talk to, and who do I want to help facilitate what with. And so these are just kind of the questions I'm asking myself, because I got really clear, and I'm like, I would not be doing what I'm doing right now if I was to die next month. So I want to leave you with that question. Ask yourself, what is it you would do if you were to die next month? Would you still be doing what you're doing right now? Would you still be hanging out with the people you're hanging out with? Would you still be spending time or energy or thoughts on what you're spending time on? These are just good questions to ask yourself, because when this got asked to me, I quit my business that day and signed up for a container to go to a speaker training. And bear in mind, no financials in sight. So another high risk, but man, my risk tolerance for this stuff is just through the roof right now. I've been in debt this whole entire time. Here in Bali, I've been broke 5 times. Like, my risk tolerance is so high now. I actually don't even care anymore. I don't even care, because my finances have just been this. My life's been like up and down here. Don't even know if I can stay in this country the next following month. Don't even know if I can get a visa. Like, some serious non-stabilitative ways of being in Bali and living life, completely different than a Western life. But I'm just doing what I love and following that. So with that, I hope that maybe you took a piece from this, and maybe ask yourself that. Spend some time today or journal and ask yourself, what would I do if I were to die? Because look at, y'all, one life to live, brother. All right, take care.